but that doesn't mean it will stay that way. So we have our first 3 race winners of the day: Toby Gale, Posh Chongchol and Tsutomu Nishimura. Who is going to be the 4th? We're about to find out. As Kimi Chan leads from pole position, Austin Gale will be alongside in 2nd, and then Clifford Kanjanapas, Nick Irwan, Feroz Fazril, and then Amaharis Jeffrey, Oscar Cura, Jenny Bivanet, Miguel Quinones and Michael Coe, all gearing up ready for an exciting race. Again, just 1 formation lap for the Masters, as long as everything goes according to plan. Anyway, they're only meant to get 1 formation lap. So it could be a really interesting challenge now for the competitors. We're very excited to see what happens in this one. They come off the turn, down to the braking zone, and in through the left-hander. And that's where we start to form up in position. Pole position going the way of Kimi Chan in the number 261 car, alongside the Cosmic of the 231 of Austin Gale. But who is going to be our first senior winner of the weekend, of the 4 races they will hold? 2 heats today, 1 super heat tomorrow, 1 final tomorrow, and that rain cloud is coming in fast over the circuit to the right side, so it could even intervene during the race. Let's see how it goes. Are we going to get a clean start in Senior X30? We do! We're up and away, and it's a great start from Gale. Can he cut across and go into the lead? No, he can't, so Gale's going to go right round the far side in the hope that he can get an opportunity coming in on the switch, and there's been a slow-moving parallel in the middle of all of that, so I think Nick Uruwan may have been held up. And a bit of a run wide there from 2nd position. That is the pole position sitter. Down to 3rd, and there's a big off. It's Jenny Bivanet. Jenny Bivanet's gone clean off the road. So Jenny Bivanet having a big off there and recovering. But I'm afraid Jenny Bivanet basically went straight through the tyre wall and manages to recover on the far side. But it's Austin Gale that leads the race here from Clifford Kanjanapas and Kimi Chan, who is down to 3rd. So Kimi Chan has not had the best of starts here. Down to 3rd position after a tricky opening half to the lap. Jenny Bivanet has been able to get going again despite being spat out of the queue essentially. So the drivers now work their way out of the final turn, and it's Gale who leads the way. 2nd place for Clifford Kanjanapas. And then it's Kimi Chan from Feroz Fezril, Amaharis Jeffrey and Nick Irwan all the way down to P6. Then Stranoas, Oscar Cura, Miguel Quinones, Michael Coe and Jenny Bivanet. So already a fantastic start to proceedings as the drivers continue on their way. The good news for Jenny Bivanet is that she is back in the kart and still circulating, so she's got a chance to catch up if she continues in good enough stead. But she does appear to be slowing up a little. I wonder if there's a problem developing. Meanwhile, back at the front, still a very solid race drive so far from Clifford Kanjanapas up into 2nd place, chasing down Austin Gale. And Austin Gale leads the way in the Cosmic, just as brother Toby did earlier on in Junior. So Austin is now taking a leaf out of the book, and it looks like the Gale force continues in superb style here in Vera. And it really is turning into a fabulous rout for Austin Gale in front of Clifford Kanjanapas and Kimi Chan, with Feroz Fezril now the fastest driver on track. 4th position for Feroz Fezril. Amaharis Jeffrey, Nick Irwan and Sra Anuras. So still they battle away, but it's Austin Gale that has taken up the initiative up at the front end of the field. The wind is picking up here on the circuit, and that rain cloud is definitely storming over the circuit. That could break at any moment now, and when it rains here, it really rains here. So we'll keep an eye on that. But Austin Gale is your leader, still holding on in the Cosmic for the time being up in the front end of the field, with Clifford Kanjanapas having had a brilliant opening lap, now finding himself comfortably in front of Kimi Chan for the moment. But 1 lap pace is not the same as race pace. So Kimi Chan, having dropped down to 3rd place in the DRM machine, hoping to continue to work his way further forward. But Kimi Chan definitely struggling. 3rd position, not really where he wanted to be, especially after his brilliant pole position lap. He was kind of hoping that there'd be a little bit more in the tank. But at the moment, he's certainly having to be a little bit stymied down in 3rd position. But your leader is still Austin Gale, looking pretty hungry at the moment to pull away from the rest of the field. Now the fastest driver on track is actually Kimi Chan. So Kimi Chan has just set the fastest lap of the race, but is there more left in the car? Is there going to be a little bit more pace? So Kimi Chan trying to close up on Clifford Kanjanapas. So Kanjanapas for the Paralin in second place. Still some really good dueling at the moment. They come off the hairpin, onto the main straight again, and Austin Gale has a decent line over Clifford Kanjanapas. They go into the next lap. 12 laps of the heat for the senior drivers, 4 completed, so 8 remaining. And Austin Gale is not getting away from Cliff Kanjanapas, and in third place Kimi Chan. In fact, if anything, Kimi Chan has now got back onto the pace of Kanjanapas and is actually starting to work with him to close up on the race leader, Austin Gale. The thing is, you don't want to battle between each other too much here. You end up impeding yourselves and letting the leader get away. They need to work in unison here. So Kimi Chan needs to think about the bigger picture. Don't go for the overtaking move for second place. Work with Clifford Kanjanapas, and you might just get a chance to work the way further forward to go for the victory. If you spend too long battling for position, that's when things can go wrong. So fourth place at the moment, that is the 203. That is Feroz Fezril, the Malaysian driver, still having a very solid race in P4, but kind of wanted a little bit more at this stage. Still plenty of time to do it. Back on the power. Clifford Kanjanapas, second place. Still looking a little bit strong out there. So 7 laps to go then here. It's all about patience at this stage of the race. Second position is a very precious position to be in over the course of the heats. You've got to be very gauged about just how much intensity you put in and how much you show. You've got to be very careful about where you make the overtaking move. If indeed you make the overtaking move, you can't just settle for second position. If you're Cliff Kanjanapas, he may not have much choice. They've got to stay as close to Austin Gale as possible, otherwise Gale is going to win this an absolute rout. Toby Gale won the juniors. Austin Gale looking good to win the seniors. Down the straight. Continuing on the way. As in through the flat out first corner. A very good race so far for the drivers. But Austin Gale just trying to stretch out this gap a little bit further on if possible. Back on the far side of the rotation. Rolling on through the right. Again through the right-hander. Then back in for the left, tucking in. Looking good so far as the competitors continue to find that little bit of extra pace. It's going really well so far for Austin Gale, who leads comfortably here. Second place though, Cliff Kanjanapas. Still hoping for an opportunity to go farther forward. There's the 239, that is Sratanuras, all over the back of Rick Irawan, who didn't have the best of starts, unfortunately. He was on the second row of the grid. But it's all about momentum. When you've lost a little bit of momentum, you just don't have it back to be able to storm yourself into a competitive position again. So there is Nick Irawan, the Malaysian driver, number 210, just trying to stretch clear of Sratanuras. Because this is an interesting kart to set up, and you can get it very, very wrong very, very easily. And it's race pace, which is very different to one lap pace. You have to just hope that you've got yourself something pretty neat and tidy together. This duel is absolutely a stalemate for second position down, isn't it? 4 karts, absolutely nose to tail. One of them blinks in the wrong direction. This race will suddenly unravel and turn on its head. Clifford Kanjanapas, second place. Kimi Chan, the man in pole position, third. Fourth is Feroz Fezril, and fifth is Amaharis Jeffrey. So all 4 of these drivers close together, all at very different points at the moment. But Kimi Chan is not going to lose a victory if he can help it, but he's going to have to do something fairly drastic and string a few qualifying laps together to get close enough to Kanjanapas to even attempt the overtaking move. Never mind complete it. There's Amaharis Jeffrey, the young Malaysian talent, continuing his solid performance so far this week. Just continuing his return to karting. He always loves to come back to it when he can. But it is not easy at this level to sustain this kind of authority and pressure throughout. Certainly for the moment, though, second place, looking good for the man in P2. Still a good run for Clifford Kanjanapas. So it'll be interesting to see if he can hold this, but there's a little bit more intensity from Kimi Chan. A little bit more of a surge forward, for Feroz Fezril. And in fifth it is Amaharis Jeffrey still. Some great battles, some great duels going on so far. And it continues in fine fashion out there on the course as the drivers are still mixing it on the far side. This second place battle just will not die, it will not relent. And they're putting in such a sensational performance at the moment. Very close indeed between these four. Not much is really changing between them. Every time one of them gets a good sector out of it, the other three are able to respond pretty much in equal measure at the moment. So a fantastic performance continuing on the charge. But it will be very, very closely mixed as the drivers continue to put on an excellent showcase. They come off the turn again. No problems at all for Austin Gale. Still holds the advantage. Kimi Chan still hunting down Clifford Kanjanapis. 2 laps to go. If you're going to make a move, you better get on with it. Because we are seriously getting close now to the biting point. And Kimi Chan does not look like he wants to settle here for third position at all. Definitely trying to make his move. And certainly trying to make the moves felt at the moment. Looks like we've had a retirement from the race as well. Looks like Jenny Bibinet, who had the problems earlier on, has come out of the race and retired, unfortunately. So Jenny Bibinet, the first retirement in Senior X30. The other 10 are still going strong. And it has to be said, second position is still up for grabs. A lap and a half left. And Clifford Kanjanapis is still being pushed to his breaking point. But the question is the breaking point going to be reached? Certainly doesn't look that way. Final lap. Kimi Chan still pushing to try and close up on Clifford Kanjanapis, but you need a perfect lap to finish this off. And certainly Kimi Chan will want an amazing lap. So this could be a chance to go for second position on Clifford Kanjanapis, but I would suspect that Kanjanapis, if he was going to break under the pressure, he probably would have done by now. He certainly looks pretty smooth out there, that is for sure. So it's looking pretty neat and tidy from that perspective. And I certainly wouldn't consider this to be a difficult proposition at all. So it's looking pretty neat and tidy as the drivers will come through, and Austin Gale is going to emulate Toby, who won in the juniors earlier on. Austin Gale doing a superb job, and it looks like it's Gale Force in IAME Series Asia. Toby and Austin have done the business in race 1. Austin Gale wins the senior heat, the opener of the weekend. Second for Clifford Kanjanapis, third for Kimi Chan, and then fourth place for Fedes Fazil in front of Amaharis Jeffrey. Sixth place for Nick Irwan, seventh for Strata Nunes, eighth for Miguel Quinones, ninth is Oscar Kyoda, 10th place is Michael Cole. So a very solid race after the opening shenanigans. A perfect start from Clifford Kanjanapis, and unfortunate for Kimi Chan, but Austin Gale fighting furiously into the lead of the race on the opening lap. Perfectly executed move, and was able to just control the race thereafter. So we have our first 4 winners of the weekend so far. Toby Gale, Posh Kongchol, Tsutomu Nishimura, and now Austin Gale. And that's a perfect start to proceedings. Will it stay dry? Will it change to wet? We will find out in the following moments. But we're going to take a pause now between heats. Heat 1 is completed. Heat 2 will be back underway. We'll get a pause, and in our break, we'll be back in about 20 minutes or so.